Hello. Hi. Because we're doing a program on TV. We're doing a program. It's called.
We just came from England, actually. We
Yeah.
started in England. Oh, you're from Belgium. You know very much about Islam. Oh, really? Nothing?
What do you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, seriously, we're curious.
Where do you start?
Where
To start?
do you know for
Muhammad, he knows Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Yeah, Allah. Yeah. And Jesus. Yeah, the Muslims, you know, we see Islam as an extension of the Judaic and the Christian tradition. You know, generally humans, if you look at human beings, generally we all pretty much agree on some basic things. Like, I don't want you to aggress against me. You don't want me to aggress against you. That's a given. I want you to respect my property. You want me to respect your property. These are all givens. But then we have particulars, which are different. So, for instance, for Muslims, like Christian and Jewish people that believe in certain basic moralities, like relations between men and women. In Islam, relations can only exist within a framework. And if it's outside of that framework, it's not permissible. That used to be the situation in a large segment of Europe and certainly in America, whereas that has changed radically now. So a lot of Muslims are very fearful if we allow our children to assimilate into the culture, they'll get girlfriends and boyfriends, premarital sex, AIDS, herpes, drugs. They really start getting they really start getting frightened about losing these things that they believe are really essential. I mean, I'll give you a tragic example of this. In London recently, there was a Kurdish man who killed his daughter, literally killed her. Did you read about that? Yeah, it's tragic, and it's totally prohibited in Islamic law. You can't do that, obviously. Nobody would accept that. But that is the type of trauma that goes on, because he's coming from a Kurdish village where they have a whole understanding. And after he killed his daughter, he threw himself out of a window and tried to kill himself. So it wasn't like he was an evil man. He
had to do it in a way.
He felt, well, he saw his daughter as an extension of himself. That he was the reason for her coming into the world, and he saw her as doing something that was so unacceptable in his worldview that death was preferable to it. The dishonor was so difficult. These type of concepts were not alien in the West. I mean, we really did have very similar concepts not that long ago. Now they seem almost silly to a lot of Western people. Like, what's the big deal?
A normal communication with people from other cultures that are young like us, and I think we would like for them to have as much freedom, what we see as freedom to do and stand.
What would you tell people now they're seeing in the Middle East, young people like you who are seeing, and what's the message you want to tell them now? What would you want to tell them? They're seeing you, you know.
A couple of million Arabs are watching.
It's difficult to imagine what they go through. What would you want to tell them? No message for them? I know they would tell you, you know, like, I'm sure
We have
they
the microphones and the cameras, so...
No, feel free to say whatever.
You don't have to say anything, but I'm curious. I would like to develop just what's your name?
I'm Caroline.
Caroline? My name's Hamza. I'm actually from California. I'm just curious, because I grew up in California, and I grew up in the 60s and 70s when, you know, the freedom and all of these things. In fact, a lot of these ideas actually came out of that whole period and experience. But my real understanding of freedom is not so much to be able to do whatever you want, but I see it as doing actually what's the ability to truly choose. For instance, when we have impulses, there's a lot of people that are overweight in America. Is it freedom to eat all I want? I mean, is that really do we call that freedom, you know? Or is people addicted to sexuality? they can't control themselves. They have to keep trying to seduce people. Whether
You don't necessarily need faith to have these values, you know, and that's sometimes maybe the thing that we perceive as different from us. I mean, I have the same values, but I'm not religious, and it's not imposed on me by any faith. So we do it because we think it's right, and because we want to believe that way.
I accept
That's a very important thing that we feel as young people in the West, that religion is not the source of the values. We don't want sex every day, but it's not because I'm religious that I will have sex or no sex. It's because of what I feel I should do. I'm not against religion, but I don't want to have religion impose a way of life upon me. We're all educated and we've been living without any harm or problems.
Don't want to have religion to play any role in public life. If you are religious, it's okay if you do it inside your house.
Or in a mosque, or that's
in political life.
But not in political life.
But
That's what we not in the laws. You know this.
Do you want your politicians honest, for instance?
Yeah, but we have had a very extreme tradition of Jewish, Roman Catholic politicians, and they did they made the same mistakes as everyone.
Well, they're human.
Yeah, but it has nothing to do with their faith.
No. Well, it depends.
No, because in Flanders you have a lot of guilt complexes about should not do this, should not do that, and that was because of religion. And now we have freed ourselves from these complexes. And I choose. I'm honest. I'm very peace loving. I'm tolerant, but that has to do with my human feeling. You said humanism. That's what I believe in, and not.
You believe in humanism?
Yeah, not
Where do those values, do you think, where do they come from?
From thinking? What my brain? Yeah.
But where did that come from?
Society?
No, where did the thinking come from? I mean, where did those thoughts come from? Because some people...
I think you should be...
What's your name?
Ellen.
Ellen? Some people don't have those thoughts at all. They're like you, they don't have religion, and they can literally... like Saddam Hussein is a good example of that. He could kill tens of thousands of people and still go to sleep at night. I mean, there's people like that in the world. Not everybody has these feelings. But I mean, I'm just curious, where do you think those real feelings come from?